exception to the campaign's general lack of source, and on the face of it, the exception to Remedy's attempts not to speak for the things in their game. There's a rock song backing a set piece, and it's a pretty damn good one. Origami is made of the intro maze. The combat always lent itself to spectacle, and the song, alongside being amazing, was composed for Control, the lyrics written for Jessie, the dramatization of her journey, its progression walking with the level in lockstep. All of it heightened even further because there's nothing else like it in Control. It's a beautifully tuned explosion of theatrical energy, and yet it doesn't really break Control's rule. Remedy are not imposing an emotion onto their creation. The world is. The song and the means by which we hear it are diegetic. In the real world, Take Control is composed by Poets of the Fall, but in the fiction, they are the old gods of Asgard, the washed-up ancient rockers from Bright Falls, friends of Artie, and they are speaking to Jessie. Through this diegesis, Control's unique flavor of immersion is maintained, and the set-piece gains a narrative dimension. The music is a character thing. It's the cheering of strange beings unknown to Jessie. It's the reassurance that the world of magic is looking back at her, and for the first time, smiling. It is as though Jessie has passed a test, and in that there is a special catharsis.
That was awesome.
I love the Ashtray Maze. Beyond is dimensional research. This is where they use the slide projector that Jessie and Dylan found in Ordinary. The hiss are pouring in through Slidescape 39. We need to find it and turn it off. But instead, we find Polaris.
Ooh.
No, we find Hedron, which is the source of Polaris. HRAs, Hedron resonance amplifiers, boosted signals, staving off the hiss. And the hiss know, and now they're here. And so we fight to save her, with a sense of urgency. It's a challenging fight. There is a sense of relief when we beat it, when we repel
where'd
the
the gun
hiss,
go?
which
I don't
provides
know.
just the right setup for what happens next. We failed. Hedron falls apart. It's hard to feel anything for a sound inside a hexagon that doesn't talk and expresses no emotion, but there is emotion in Jessie's attachment to this being. It's her friend. It protected her. It made her feel special her whole life. It's the link to the world she wanted to believe in. The thing that showed her she wasn't crazy. With Jessie's grief and her fear, Courtney Hope proves herself once again. And then the hiss get in, push their fingers through the surface into the wet. And then Jessie is gone. Oh my god, did Control just make something interesting happen with the plot? And create emotion with the characters? Well, welcome back, Remedy. Let's hope this goes somewhere compelling, huh? We wake in Jessie's nightmare, which, as it turns out, is being a wagey for the hiss. A corporate slave to an uncaring bureaucracy. A life without magic. Of course this is what she fears. We collect coffee cups, deliver papers, bring Trench's mail. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. I'll do that right away, sir. It's mechanically effective. Grey, as it should be. And it keeps happening. The same day, every day, but some things change. Artie knows. He sees through the dream. Trench is losing his grip. The hiss tighten theirs. There is repetition and descent. And through this, you're made to expect that if you simply keep repeating, then eventually you'll break through. And you will. But it is this expectation that makes
there we
it
go.
likely you'll miss the most important thing that happens here. Trench rambles to himself. Delivering his mail is the final task of each day. The compulsion is to do it immediately, in the hope that you'll finally wake. Indeed, Jessie insists the moment you enter his office, I need to keep moving. Who then would have known that on his last day of consciousness, he'd keep rambling for 5 minutes? A 5-minute monologue, the majority of what Trench says in Control, and the answers to so many things. Where we can find the slide projector, who let the hiss in and why, the details of his feud with Darling, and the nature of Artie. You shouldn't miss this. The most important things are in the first 30 seconds, so there's hope, but if you do, there will be holes that can never be filled, and Jessie will just seem to magically know where the slide projector is. The bigger problem is what happens next. Darling calls, using the hotline, which means he's either dead or somewhere far, far away. He tells us that Hedron was not a source, but a catalyst. He tells us to find his office. There is an entrance to the Ocean View Motel, and in the third room is Darling, dancing, singing. A cover written for Jessie. He's hyping her up. It's an earworm. And it's hilarious because it's so profoundly unexpected in the climax of the darkest part of the game. It works beautifully. Darling's use of the hotline, his appearance in a video that couldn't have been pre-recorded, his final log where he told us that he would fully expose himself to Hedron resonance and that would change him, combined to suggest that communicating in the form of a music video is a manifestation of distance. He is in some other dimension now, and this is his way of telling you to get back on your feet. At Jessie's low point, it feels emotionally right. Enjoy it. It won't last long. Another door is opened. Inside, we find Jessie, or Polaris. Jessie Polaris. She says, grow brighter. And from this, Jessie somehow concludes that Hedron is dead, but Polaris lives on, inside her. Confused? Well, maybe you're supposed to be. Jessie's choice of words suggests that Hedron and Polaris are two separate beings, with separate lives, selves, and separate intentions, which was never before implied. It's never specified in this new context what Darling meant by catalyst, and Jessie wonders that perhaps Hedron was trying to teach her how to trigger Jessie Polaris, which doesn't really line up with anything we've just experienced. Jessie Polaris was triggered by Jessie resisting the Hiss's possession, with the unique benefits of Darling's help. But that could have happened at any time. Most Control fans reached the conclusion that Hedron was a source/catalyst for Polaris, and when it died, Jessie became the new source/catalyst for Polaris. But Jessie, she wonders if she'll ever understand. She wonders if that's okay. Indeed, the concepts and language here seem intentionally confusing, perhaps to make an artistic point that some things can't be understood, and all they have. But that, if true, is a point clumsily made. Because it's not the nature of Polaris that confuses, it's the intentionally confusing ways that Polaris is described. And there is a price of all this strangeness. The death is reversed, and Jessie recovers from her darkest hour, for a reason that feels like it was pulled from thin air, and that has nothing to do with her character. It's really very unsatisfying. But now the bitch is back, and we're back in the bitchin' business, burning in the confidence of Hedron. Jessie parts the seething tides of Hiss and the nostalgia line. With a newfound confidence, she condemns Trench's excessive need for control and marches forward. The board is in danger. The Hiss have wormed their way into the astral plane. Oh my god, there are stakes all of a sudden. Well, what impeccable timing, that the clock would start ticking the moment we needed it to. It is very contrived. The board tosses you an emergency can of Jessie juice for the apocalyptic occasion, and you become unstoppable. Unfortunately for Remedy, scribbling level 30 above the enemy's heads and cranking launch damage even higher than it already was, doesn't actually make the following 10 standard combat encounters feel especially climactic. At the end, you will find no boss fight. You cleanse Dylan, he falls into a coma, a limbo that neither leads to a sense of victory or defeat. The projector is turned off, but some Hiss remain because the post-game content needs it to, and Jessie accepts her directorship over the Bureau of Control. And then the game ends. It's cold, emotionless. It's not even conceptually interesting, which was kind of Control's whole thing. Jessie's decision to direct the Bureau willingly doesn't not make sense, but it also doesn't feel earned. For the last few hours, Control has insisted upon the notion of taking control. It was sung to Jessie, it was baked into her nightmare, both the title of the mission and represented as a change in status from an obedient office peon to director of the Bureau. The notion doesn't come
I got a level.
Where the setup fails is the lack of deep roots in character. Why does Jessie Faden take control? In what way did the events of the game teach Jessie that what she needed as a person was control? A lack of control is not a defining feature of her character. She does claim that this is her mess to clean up, perhaps implying that she feels responsible for what happened, because she was the one who discovered the slide projector when she was a child. But no sense of guilt is dramatized in this story. It's not that Jessie's choice is illogical. It makes sense that she would want to control the organization responsible for her brother and the world that she loves. But that's logic. The problem is that in being detached from any dramatically relevant aspect of character, it does not lead to an emotionally satisfying end. It also doesn't lead to a thematically satisfying end. What's the message of control? That taking control is good? But why? Where's the because section? And hang on a minute, isn't Trench explicitly condemned for his obsessive need for control? Those are Jessie's exact words spoken about 5 minutes ago, while Jessie herself is celebrated for taking more and more control and then total control of the Bureau of Control. So is control the problem or the solution? Remedy aren't confused. They know the difference between Jessie and Trench. Trench led from a stance of fear. His paranoia locked Dylan in a cage. Trench bad, while Jessie's position is one of acceptance, and that's good. But that's not what the ending says. It's not about the difference between Jessie and Trench. It's about Jessie realizing her contrived destiny as Girl Boss Prime. It's an ending shaped like an ending, but that leaves you without thought or feeling. You want to know what I think? What I think Control is really about? I think that Control is about our relationship to the subconscious mind, the source of what might as well be magic. Sam Lake, face of Max Payne, heart of Remedy's inexhaustible creativity, likes Carl Jung, an old Swiss psychologist who thought a lot about the goings-on in the deepest parts of our head. Control likes Carl Jung. Indeed, so does the entire Remedy-connected universe. It uses his terms, like threshold, archetype, and shadow. Its lore tells us his theories are true, that humanity's collective unconscious projects immeasurable psychic force.
We can change the likelihood of something being a receptacle for these forces just by thinking about it.
that the archetypes of our mind are tangible, and sometimes its stories are founded and carry out its lessons. In Alan Wake 2, we integrate the archetypal shadow. To integrate is to make an aspect of the unconscious conscious, to bring it out of the dark and the light, to accept it and make it a part of ourselves. If we do, our consciousness will grow. If we don't, it will rule our lives and we will call it fate. You might say, Young believed in control. That's what Jesse is, an embodiment of integration, a natural avatar of accepting the unknown, learning from it, and making it a part of her being, though in more physical and literal terms. This is why Jessie chooses to direct the Bureau, despite what they've done to her world, to her brother, to her. She takes control because control is good. Polaris and the Hiss are alien minds on the surface only, in the low terms of law, but what they really are manifestations of the unconscious mind.
What happened?
They strike me as instinctual, less conscious, more like a collective impulse. Vibes and resonances, literally and symbolically, who can only be described as a feeling, who can express only in unconscious terms. Polaris is the imaginary friend, silent to all but Jessie, and gains a spoken voice when it is integrated into her. And the Hiss, an earworm, whose relentless incantation is written in the form of a Dadaist poem, a 20th century surrealist form of poetry that is designed specifically to never make sense in conscious terms, to resemble the flowing of a dream.
Open my eyes with those words still on my lips. In the dream, they had made perfect sense. But awake, they're like a foreign language, already forgotten.
Now, why did my
Control
eardrums
is about a
suddenly...
war between concrete and liquid, science and magic. One level deeper is what those things represent. The solidity of consciousness against the lapping waves of thought and feeling in our deeper
Maybe I bumped
minds.
it.
And Jessie fights for both. Her loyalty is split between magic and the people of the Bureau. Jessie is a hero of two worlds, who will bring unity and peace through control. I think what this game really means to tell you is that this war is real, and that there is a way to end it. If it isn't about that,
real.
fuck. If it is, well, sweet. But it doesn't offer an ironclad defense. Control's world captivated me like nothing ever has. I haven't been thinking about it for all this time because I wanted to find out for the sake of an analysis I might never have made whether or not there was anything really there. I've been thinking about Control because it made me want to. As far as I'm concerned, it can claim the benefits of analysis. And yet, the truth remains that stories succeed when they communicate in emotion. Control's story doesn't. It's fascinating, and it has a third act peppered with flashes of brilliance, but it mostly isn't about anything, besides finding a way to open the next door at the behest of a cardboard cutout. Jessie's character arc might make perfect sense through a certain
Gonna move my
thematic
monitor a
lens,
little
but
bit.
if you view her as a human being, it remains hollow and unimpactful. The ending has you throw boxes at zombies to save a triangle. Why? Probably because Control suffered from major budgetary constraints, and it went into production before the screenplay was finished. The reality of creating things is the greatest influence on any created thing. Control is weird, in case you hadn't noticed. So it benefits from a protective shell of plausible deniability that makes people who feel left behind think, I just didn't get it. Well, I don't think you did, but I don't think that's your fault either. One of Control's stories failed.
Gotta go pee. I'll be right back, guys. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, it's fine by me.
Yet while one kept me fascinated, the other made me feel something. Control is lucky, because the strength of all the other kinds of stories it tells means the hole its central narrative leaves in the game is small enough not to be a lethal wound. You will not leave the oldest house wanting for something meaningful. You'll just have to face up to a nasty scar. Permanent limp, one among many. Control is brilliant, and it is haunted by emptiness, by lacking and absence, riddled with holes like this. Control is a bitch, because it's hard to square the two truths that it is, in many ways, one of my favorite games, and sometimes it honestly isn't that exciting. Luckily for me, now's not really the time for conclusions, because this isn't the end, not anymore. Jessie Faden rises from her desk with a sweet new hairpiece, willing director of the Bureau of Control. And now, things have changed. In 2019, there was little left to do. You could wrap up side missions, maybe collect some outfits, such as Minimalist Sith Lord, Cool I Guess, Mid, Director of McDonald's, and some more assorted mid. Point being, it was a dry selection. But it's been 5 years since then. We've had a free content update and 2 new chapters that amount to an Act 4, The Adventures of Director Faden. I'm a big fan of the way Remedy don't make the DLC look or feel like DLC, instead presenting themselves like anything else would. Something stumbled onto, an alert that suddenly appears. When the game ends, it is time to do the DLC, but it feels like a natural continuation of Control. So, what first? That depends. If your plan is to head into Alan Wake 2 after Control, do Foundation first and Alan Wake last. Otherwise, Alan comes first, because it functions more like a Villain of the Week episode than a turning point, the next stage of Jessie's story. That way functioning well as a break between the ending of the main game and the true ending of Control in Foundation. Act 4 then takes on a satisfying and well-paced arc. So what's John Click whining about this time? Something dark's lurking in the new investigation sector. Emil Hartman, the therapist from Bright Falls, has been spit-roasted by the corrupting force of the dark presence in the Hiss. Emerging here is a 20-foot gremlin bastard haunting the halls of investigations. There's a soft cat-and-mouse dynamic as you engage in Control's usual gameplay loop. Nothing so impressive or AI-driven as Alien Isolation, but at scripted moments that are not always predictable, Hartman will find you, and when he does, you're the mouse. Unsurprisingly, the theme of the Alan Wake DLC is horror, and it's pretty well done. The investigation sector is characterized by an eerie sense of abandonment. Cluttered debris, things left in a hurry, others marked out of order. The rest of the Bureau was taken by the Hiss before anyone could react, but this disaster took time, and so a different tale is told, of fear. The ceilings are low, the walls are cramped, light barely has room to breathe, darkness presses closer. Remedy nailed the atmosphere, and the tutorialization. Light is the core mechanic down here. Jessie doesn't have a flashlight, but she does have a lamp, and the Force. Launch adds an element of feedback and physicality that makes Controls among the most intrinsically satisfying flashlights I've used in a game yet.
I like the melee,
twice,
it feels good.
But it's a minor victory. You'll only be using the lamp to cook some darkness goop, never to fight anyone or to light the way. No, for that we return to the embrace of an old friend. Oh, hey power boxes, how have you been? Not this fucking guy again. Good news is, Remedy have seen the light in a second sense. Finally, we've moved past level 1. You'll have to think for a moment to solve Wake's puzzles. Maybe one thing needs to happen before another thing can be done. They're better. They're fine. They're best when they're being used to make a mechanical challenge out of the horror. Hartman pounces and you're trapped in an elevator and then surrounded by swamp-like darkness. You can see the glow of a power box in the mist. You can spend only moments in the swamp before Hartman catches you. Figure it out, Jessie. The game is one of short bursts forward, hoping you have enough time to make it to the next patch of light, to the next box, to turn on the next light. It's a remarkably effective concept. It's kinda scary, and Remedy lean on it a lot, even for some unique combat challenges, where the darkness creates a limited space of safety and a limited time to work outside it. But it's used too much. Remedy, as ever, do too little to change the routine. Soon, the routine becomes predictable. You become confidently aware of exactly how much time you have to safely move in the dark. And as that truth matures, the horror loses much of its effect. Oh shit, Hartman slowly becomes, oh, hey Hartman. As with the base game, time weakens Alan Wake. There are no other enemies, just the Hiss, Hartman, and gallons of black goo. It's solid, not much more. So, what's it like to be director? Complicated. When Jessie came here, she was everything the Bureau was not. So trashing their officers and spraying dirt across their freshly cleaned floor was a coherent act. Now, Jessie is the villain down there, This is her house, and these are her people. But laying it to ruin is still the basic means of interaction with Control. It's how you pass the time, it's an inevitability of combat. The result is an unaddressed dissonance. Control was designed for a woman who opposed her environment, not its leader. And to a noticeable degree, you can feel it. Control becomes a less cohesive experience in its postgame. It's a problem, a lurking offness that future entries are going to have to deal with. On the flip side, the DLCs introduce a new mechanic to help legitimize the role of director through gameplay. Certain encounters allow you to summon allied rangers. In mechanical terms, that's no different from having a seized ally. Their primary value is distraction, but in narrative terms, having a human friend is very different from mind-controlling a corpse. You're the reason they're here. If they die, it's because of you. And if you were good enough,
I love this
you could
game.
have saved them. Remember the Marines in Halo?
I love
It
this
can
game, I love
introduce
this
a
game.
unique tension to these encounters. It works nicely. It's in these moments that you feel like director the most. Another of Alan Wake's mechanical contributions is a new way to blow up your own crib, Surge, a grenade launcher for the service weapon, which differentiates itself from Charge, the rocket launcher, by empowering the player to decide when the bomb goes off, trigger detonation, and the bombs stick, even to launchable objects. Oh my god, is that a whole new dimension of combat to master? No. Upon further testing, it turns out the damage of a launched object is identical with or without the explosion, a silent nerf that defies logic and, inevitably, expectation. Thanks, Remedy. You got my balls looking like they were cooked by Walter White. But in spite of that crushing disappointment, Surge is fun. I like blowing things up. Its real problem is its competition, and that's the real conversation. There's a sniper, a shotgun, a machine gun, and a pistol in Control. Along with Surge and Charge, that makes 6 to choose from, but you can only equip 2 at a time. Now, broadly speaking, there are 2 types of encounters in Control. Ones with flying enemies, which means longer ranges, and ones without flying enemies, which tend to be much tighter. To cover all your bases then, you want something accurate, like grip or pierce, paired with something intimate, like shatter or spin. You're not going to die if you rock a different combo, but you are putting yourself at an obvious disadvantage. Surge and Charge are actively harmful at close range, because splash damage believes in gender equality, and they are also terrible at long range, because they fire slow, inaccurate projectiles. So you're left with a narrow set of circumstances where they make sense, like the not many times enemies decide to form a group, or embarrassing or distorted by sticking a bomb to its little invisibility cloak, which is wonderful, in the 3 distorted encounters left in Control. The problem is, a 2-weapon limit leaves no room for these weapons unless you're willing to accept the debuff they represent. Some people are, but incentives are like gravity. It's a shame in a game like Control that wants for variation, and strange, because the limitation doesn't seem to have much of a point. In most games with 2-weapon limits, there's a major balancing implication. More guns means you can shoot more because more of the ammo you're carrying can be used, and with more guns, you can avoid reloading by weapon switching more often. The more guns, the stronger. But here's the thing, Control doesn't work that way, because the service weapon has a universal cooldown. Every form shares the same magazine. If I use Shatter, that spends the mag for grip. What that means is, having another slot wouldn't make Jessie significantly stronger. I couldn't avoid any limitations or shoot any more often, but maybe I'd use Charge sometimes if I had it on me. In fact, having just one more slot, 3 instead of 2, would make space for a fun option whilst having both ranges covered. So why 2? What's the benefit? I'd grit my teeth and accept the realities of developing for a controller if the D-pad was occupied, but it isn't. It's doing nothing. And Remedy's stated defense, that the limitation invites the player to carefully prepare for the next encounter, would only make sense if you had any way to know ahead of time what kind of enemies would be in future encounters, which you don't. Or, more pressingly, if preparation would actually be useful in Control, which it wouldn't. If I equip 2 close-range weapons for a close-range encounter, they share a magazine, so I'm shooting at exactly the same rate as I was before. The 2-weapon limit doesn't do anything for Control besides limit it. It limits variation in a game wanting for variation. That's a shame. So let's change the subject. Alan Wake, Control, Quantum Break, even Max Payne, all sharing the same world as part of gaming's foremost connected universe. We've seen multiple entries sharing a setting in the same franchise, but here, it is multiple franchises that share a setting. With Remedy, we change protagonist, genre, tone, and fantasy among the most foundational elements of art, providing hugely different perspectives on the same things, characters, and ideas. Control is where that idea solidified, the oldest house like a nexus from which everything else branches. And the Alan Wake DLC is the first time that connection has gone beyond reference, beyond a passing glimpse to asking for a date. Like when Steve Rogers first woke in Stark's time. Question is, does that benefit the games? Simply, yes, because each game in it is at its core about mystery. and each game's mysteries are good, and now they are connected. On the horizon of Control, I now see so much more. More patterns, more possibilities, a bigger picture. I care about Control, so I started caring about Alan Wake. I can see
love
Alan
Alan
Wake
Wake.
as a new dimension of Control, and that excites me. Alan
I
Wake is
cannot
the
exit
future
the
of
menu.
Control, and that excites me more. And so I explore the investigation sector with a special fascination. Lore that talks of Alice and the Bureau's perspective on Bright Falls and the Dark Place. The DLC is given fuel by its connection, and so is Alan Wake 2. So is the universe. As Saga, I meet Tim Breaker, and I'm instantly intrigued because that's Quantum Bloke. Tim Breaker, Time Breaker, you guys get it. When he talks of a red-haired woman, I'm perked up like a cat who heard the rustling of the biscuit bag across the house, because I happen to know a red-haired woman. Two, in fact, Jane Control and Quantum Becky. But which Courtney Hope might it be? I'm waiting to hear about how Alan's writing might have changed the hiss, to see another snippet of Darling as the television sets change signal. I explore the FBC's abandoned stations with particular excitement as Saga, and I view the triangular symbology of the cult of the tree with unique suspicion. Alan Wake 2 rewarded me for knowing Control. This, more than anything, established my trust in the Remedy-connected universe. Not that it was always planned out, or that everything in it will become relevant, or that Remedy will somehow overcome the IP laws that keep Quantum Break locked in the Microsoft threshold, but the franchise and genre can and will meaningfully interweave. The RCU works forwards, but it works backwards too, back in time as long ago as Max Payne 1, whose famous phone call now sounds strangely like something written by Wake and spoken by the Hiss. There's Quantum Break, where Mr. Hatch and Mr. Door share a striking resemblance. And there's Control, with its realm of doors, where the symbols have taken on a new meaning. Entire conversations are given context, and so many other things too, cast in a new light as the borders of Jesse's world grow and the poster peels further back. The Remedy-connected universe has proven itself, because Control made Alan Wake 2 better, and Alan Wake 2 made Control better, and Remedy have earned my trust that it will all happen again, soon. And no part of Control benefits more than here, in Alan Wake. The darker, spookier tone of investigations welcomes the slower pace demanded by large periods of reading things and scouring the environments for clues. Getting bogged down is less of a problem for the pace here. It fits. So, the exploration is good. The lore is good, the central mysteries are fascinating, which is good, because the DLC doesn't bother with any other kind of story. Well, apart from one PA call from Langston, who carefully considers the chances of Jesse liking his cat, for like 10 minutes. Langston was the officer in charge of the Panopticon, most interesting of the Bureau NPCs in the base game, but that's not saying much. Until now, I suppose. The content of his introspection covers everything from his cat to his philosophy. Perhaps it's unsurprising to say that that does make him a more interesting character. I like that you get to decide whether to or for how long to entertain him. His endless rambling reveals an innocent kind of vulnerability, a loneliness that characterizes a player's decision to stay as a favor to Langston, which I think adds a unique layer of attachment, and is also the kind of thing a good director might do. Well, I guess I like Langston now. I'm not quite sure what Remedy were thinking. Langston isn't important. He doesn't actually do anything in this DLC or in the base game besides talk. But fuck it. Why not? Control is a better game for him being a better character. I'll take the win. Moving on to the level design. During the second half of the DLC, Remedy start getting way too comfortable with giant empty concrete rooms. One giant empty concrete room is fine, but 6? That's too many giant empty concrete rooms. It starts to get a bit dull, creeps too close to living up to the memes about Control's art style. Alan Wake is brought down by its second half, as repetition sets in of mechanics and environment. A lacking that it seems Control has not yet found a way to escape. Stoop to a 6, started at a 9, take the mean average, that's just fine. Though there is another problem, one I need to discuss separately. Control has a loot system, yeah. Now, I've prepared a thought experiment for you. If you had to choose between a large, non-conditional buff to something you're always using, or a minor conditional buff to something you're rarely using, what would it be? The most obvious problem with Control's loot, besides the fact that it's all boring stat buffs, is that Remedy seem to think that's a much harder choice than it really is. You've got limited mod slots, 3 for Jessie, 3 for each of her 2 guns, and the balance is certifiably insane. Lots more health, lots more energy, lots more damage. I'll have those ones, please. Every other personal mod has to compete with that holy trinity, and they inevitably fail, because everything else is situational. How often am I using shield or seize? 50% faster seize is good, but it's not as good as making my health bar 30% longer, and even if it was 100% longer, or 200, it still wouldn't be as good. It's no better for the guns, improved zoom for pierce, or 30% more damage when I'm aiming. It's a sniper, man. When aren't I aiming? Mod stack. You can equip multiple versions of the same one, so the best combination is never going to be anything besides stacking the best damage mods you have. Aim damage, headshot damage, or damage. The most interesting building control is using energy renewal on headshots with spin, because being a machine gun, spin can do a lot of headshots. The result is an energy tractor beam, energy being the thing you need to launch. So the most interesting build for the service weapon is the one that makes it so there's no reason to use the service weapon. In the early game, when Jessie has one slot for herself and each of her guns, you equip the good mod, and then you spend the next few hours unexcitedly opening chests, hoping for the slim possibility that you'll get a slightly better version of that good mod. With time, things slightly improve. Maybe it's better to sacrifice the health mod for a second energy mod, but we are still looking at a world record contender for gaming's most unnecessary loot system. I haven't even mentioned the inventory space, which is low enough to demand multiple trips for slow deletions, one by cocking one over the course of the game. All the rarity levels can be far too close to each other, leading to moments where you find a prime version of the good mod, only to find it's a 1% improvement. Control actually did the mean. This sounds catastrophic, and it is for the loot system, just not for the game. It doesn't bog things down, it just means the chests the game didn't need aren't exciting, and the process of upgrading the service weapon is a bit sterile. But why am I talking about this now? For 3 reasons. One is the fact that I didn't have a segue earlier. The second is that the DLC makes it much worse. You might be wondering, how's that possible? Answer: they doubled down. DLC mods are more conditional, happier to provide minor buffs for abilities you never use. They've given up on trying to compete with the good mods. And for the player even remotely interested in making good choices, that's going to make pretty much every chest in any DLC area a guaranteed dud. Gains 16% ammo from taking melee damage, 20% cheaper evades when you've recently hit someone with a shield bash. Health recovery on launch is pretty good, but that's about it. Their one upside is that through their absurdity, they create a small potential for challenge runs. If for some reason you want a good evade build instead of a good build, well, actually, it'd still be smarter to equip the energy buffs. But okay, if for the sake of a bump in variety you want a challenging evade build, where you're incentivized to take explosion damage or something, now you can do that. Is anyone going to do that? Maths says yes, and for whoever that person is, I'm happy. Unfortunately, we haven't even gotten to the third reason yet, that some of the post-game content seems way the hell too sure of the loot's ability to motivate me. Expeditions, the free content update. Put a penny in the magic jukebox and off you fuck to the Formation, an unmapped region of the Black Rock Quarry where the hiss will be fought and loot will be taken. If you beat all 4 basic objectives at a significantly raised difficulty within 25 minutes, where death wipes progress on whatever objective you died on, and even if you make it, you're still not fucking done, because now it's time for a boss fight. It's a boss fight in name and health bar only, just a usual distorted, but the point is, expeditions are a serious challenge. And that's a problem, because the purpose remedy assigned to them is the loot, the golden chest at the end, in which you will find some of the worst mods in the game. Expeditions have a number of exclusive mods, which are some of the worst mods in the game. They also have the good mods, and so what you're trudging through Control's hardest content for are slightly better percentages on mods you will already have by the time Expeditions unlock. Who's excited by that? Not no one, but not many. Loot can't motivate shit in Control, but that doesn't mean Expeditions can't work outside of their given purpose. I think they look great. I appreciate having a serious challenge in Control, but I don't think they work as the kind of repeatable post-game combat arena you'd boot up for a quick session every now and then, or even as a tiered activity that expects more than one increasingly difficult run to test yourself against, mainly because Expeditions don't hold up to repetition. Why? The time limit. 25 minutes is tight, and that is going to have a restricting effect on gameplay. You need to be efficient, and you can't afford to die, which doubles the pressure to play smart and to do nothing but. The gravity of the balance that says launch, launch, launch is always best, that says headshot damage mods are always best, that says charge is a bad choice, strengthens to crush most any whimsical impulse. You can't be throwing in melees for the fuck of it, certainly not on bad guys who can one-shot you with health bars longer than the River Nile. It's a pressure to do the same thing. That doesn't go well with repetition. Expedition. It gets worse. Objectives that don't demand all enemies dead gives you a massive incentive to rush the objective and to leave as quickly as possible. To skip the enemies, to do that every subsequent run, only making slight improvements to your route. Expedition. Not plural. Any more than once, the fun starts to fade. You'll find that the fun is fading. Let's fucking go. I knew I could get that in there. Control is a better game for having them, just not by much.
Yes, this on it. Tell me.
The best endgame activity in Control is Shoon. An altered arcade machine that allows Jesse to replay boss fights and the Ashtray Maze, and take part in 2 new combat challenges. New is being generous.
Wow, it's not
just
raining
logistics
for
from a
once.
containment sector and waves of normal enemies. But there's no time limit, and it's a genuine challenge. Given the dependence of Control's combat on its environment, being stuck in the same room limits Shoom's success as a repeatable arena mode. But it is a solid arena mode, and it's also the Ashtray Maze on speed dial. Control is a better game for having this, too.
Games are so realistic these days.
Which leaves us with Foundation. If Alan Wake was the next step for the Remedy universe and Control by connection, Foundation is the next step for Control and the Remedyverse by connection. Here, Jesse and the Bureau move forward by going downward to the roots of the oldest house. Marshall is missing. The board inform you of an urgent crisis /
Finally,
in
new
the
pants.
Foundation, making this Jesse's first official task as director. The Foundation is not what you'd expect. It's white caves and red sand. It's primal, like you've gone back in time. It's completely unlike the oldest house, and that's part of the reason it works that way so late into the game. And yet, it is completely like Control, a contrast of simple, bold materials and colors. It's alien, and yet fitting. It's so fucking beautiful, but I would not want to be here alone. Soon, we find the id, the beings we so thoughtlessly used for practice in the astral plane, gather in these dark caves. Black, blank, faceless, but not devoid. They're creepy and innocent. They're a mystery, a human redacted bar. Is that why they're called the id? The unknowable unconscious, the foundation of the human psyche. Fits into my game theory. Documents and audio logs track the Bureau's first expedition into the oldest house. The first head of research, the first
Oh, I'm out of
director to
time.
be appointed the service weapon, to meet the board. The place felt so strange. People went mad. Not everyone trusted the id. Not everyone trusted the board. In the quiet caverns now, we imagine what it must have been like for that first team. To see cave paintings made by things that might be human, watched by the faceless, to be lost in a shifting maze in the shadow of black monuments, to be commanded by an unknown astral being that could bestow the tools and powers of a god, that no one dared to question, at least not openly, because the id didn't seem to like that. The lore in Foundation is uniquely focused by Control standards. It tells one central narrative of fear and fascination, whose echoes become an atmosphere in the present. You start to feel the strange energies they describe. Ask the questions they did of the blank and faceless. Like a found footage story, art and lore working in close cooperation, what we hear of the past haunting what we see in the present, and it works like magic. Sometimes, a place in a good game stays with you. I am followed by the Foundation. The first hour or two of this DLC is an elevation of what Control did best. So, for me, this was the best part of Control. But there's more down in these caves than the ethereal. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a new fucking enemy type. I swear I met this guy behind a McDonald's once. The Hiss Sharpened have an axe. And anger issues. That are a thing for Jesse. They really want to close the distance, but unlike the Charged, they're going to. They're fast, they have an evade. They hit hard, and it's hard to hit them back. And that puts you on the back foot. The Sharpened effectively encourage evade and a defensive use of levitate, but they don't allow that to be an easy counter. When you fly, they throw axes, which gives you 2 options. Catch the axes with launch, or evade. Both cost energy. Keeping it up costs energy faster than you can recover energy. Flight then is a fleeting refuge, leaving us with a unique trade-off between the ground, which is dangerous, and the air, which is costly. The simple benefit of encouraging the use of any ability that costs energy besides launch is that the higher energy demands encourages using launch with wiser intent, at a more considered pace. What all this amounts to is one of the most intrinsically challenging enemies in Control, and a basic victory. When a Sharpened is in an encounter, the encounter is different. The Sharpened is successful enemy design in a game with mostly flaccid enemy design. and perhaps that is the reason they aren't always seen that way. A lot of people get their asses kicked and call it frustrating, not because dodging attacks is that difficult a concept to grasp, but because friction is the inevitable result of being different in a game that has spent the last 15 hours training you to think of most every encounter as the same. A lot of people forget that the dodge button even exists in Control. It's not normal to need to adapt, and the price of breaking that norm is that some people are slow to learn. But I'll concede that perhaps the sharpened would have gone down smoother with the tooltip, a reminder that Jesse's dodge is a thing. Foundation's flagship mechanics, though, come courtesy of the board. There are crystal beds in the caves, and we are given a choice. Would you like to destroy crystals to access new areas, or would you like to extend crystals, which can form paths to access new areas, and activate traps in combat? Well, the second one can do more, so I picked the second one. There's a limited degree to which you can manipulate where an enemy is in control. There's no force push, you can't launch living enemies, so the most you can do to intentionally set up a trap is backing away from those who chase you. Sometimes that can happen, but mostly opportunities arise by chance, and the challenge then is simply being quick enough to hit the button. It's an expansion, just not a very big one. Same thing goes for the choice. Nice to have, lays a small sense of ownership over a playthrough, but that's about it. Consequences don't last, because before long, you will get the second ability. You just won't have permission. Seeds of suspicion planted by the law grow into a central narrative conflict. A question: should we trust the board? When the opportunity comes to access Power 2, the board says no and the board says, yo, is this bitch for real? They offer no explanation. They command bluntly. There's evidence they've been hiding things from you. Jessie doesn't like that. So, she decides to piss and shit all over the place, figuratively speaking. The former shows up, result of a long-lasting feud with the board. The board tells you not to trust the former tells you not to trust the board. But the board's being stingy with powers and the former's offering the second one free of charge, so hey, here's to new friends. I'm being serious. Control expects you to believe that Jessie would trust the muffled words of a bug-eyed Fruit Loop who was actively trying to kill us the last 3 times we met, and who seemed intent on undermining the containment of altered items at the FBC. And she does all this based entirely on the promise of a new toy.
I don't like you deciding what I can / can't have.
I mean, I'd do that, and I respect Jessie's naturally trusting nature, but you're director of the FBC, and presumably not suicidal. The board's untrustworthy. That doesn't mean immediately start trusting everyone the board doesn't like. I suppose Jessie never did learn not to take free candy from the strange-looking man in a white van, but fuck me. It makes her look petulant and dumb.
God, it is giving this.
Safe money's on that not being Remedy's intent. I'd call it a misfire, a failed attempt at being part of Jessie's overconfident characterization in Foundation.
Not sure she's ready.
I'm here, aren't I? I saved the Bureau once, and I'll do it again.
She's director. She's a girl boss now. We don't need no stupid space triangle ordering her about, let alone Bug-Eyed Joe, so she mutters clapbacks and conducts herself with authority.
I'm getting pretty tired of being jerked around the astral plane. If you're listening, I want some answers.
That's a good thing. It serves to solidify Jessie's decision to take control of her life and the Bureau. Serves to portray a struggle to settle into such an intimidating role. It's funny too, and pretty much the only character thing that happens in Foundation. Hey, I'll take what I can get. But anyway, now we have the second ability. You can break obstacles, you can access a few chests, no different from being able to make crystals for the same purpose. They're basically gassed up keycards, or at least that's what they should be. I want to talk about when they're not. Sometimes, Foundation expects these abilities to mechanically uphold large sections of content. The question is, how? How'd you make shooting a thing to make it break, or spawning a preset crystal in a preset location an interesting mechanic for puzzles? Foundation doesn't know. A platform is in the wrong place. Shoot the crystals, trapping it. Later, there will be multiple crystals, and they will grow back if you don't shoot them all quickly enough. But that doesn't mean find an intelligent position, or the optimal order so that you are able to shoot them all quickly enough, the way it worked in God of War. It just means don't take a coffee break halfway through the mag dump. It's interesting once, not upwards of 10 times, not even when they change the context to a box instead of a platform. What further characterizes these regions are large periods of traversal, big distances that demand long levitations, sometimes amidst nothing. Astral emptiness. It's a blank space baby, and I'm tired of this game. Control's always struggled with uninteresting puzzles, but building entire regions from them? It is difficult to perceive these parts of Foundation as anything but Remedy playing for time. Indeed, Foundation is a contrast of extremes. It is Control at its very best, and at its very worst. Another contrast. The low quality of its powers with the brilliance of its altered items. Same deal as ever, optional content about containing an SCP, ones in the caves, dark caves, that we must find our way through with the light of a television show. The id were watching that television show, and they do not appreciate the interruption, so it's a balance. Light the way, calm the id. The darkness allows for sudden, pounce-like introduction of new id, new angles to consider and cover, leading to an increasingly frantic escape, and horror. It's effective, somehow more so than the actual flashlight sections in the Alan Wake DLC, and it's placed well. Making Jessie vulnerable at the height of her strength helps the moment land. The second altered item is up, far above. A film camera that bends the world to its creative purpose, which, as it turns out, is a Carpenter brought music video, cheesy 80s action. Another well-placed contrast with the serious tone of Foundation and the musiclessness of Control. This is the game's second
Wow, it's
ashtray
beautiful
maze,
when it's
and
not
the sequel's never quite as
raining.
good. Here, because it goes on for 8 whole minutes when it's made its point several times over by minute 6. But on the other hand, it is cool as fuck, the track is cool as fuck, and it put a mile-wide smile on my face. It's part of one of the better sections of Foundation, our return to the upper floors. Control's base game never designed combat spaces to strongly emphasize movement in sightlines. Here, we have an arena that does, with a rising stack of cubicles, where being or seeing inside of one partially or fully occludes your view of the others. It's one of Control's more memorable fights for that reason, but it stands out most strongly against the rest of Foundation, its red sand and white space. We are protected in these environments from the dissonance of Jessie's directorship with her destructive power. Foundation is precisely when this needed not to be a problem, and the Foundation means it isn't. But there's another problem. Remedy can't catch a break. That these environments are uniquely frail to the pressure of repetition. There's the astral plane, where generalized destructibility is at a minimum, or those pretty red caves, where it's only a bit more than a minimum. In both cases, the number of things that can be launched is very low, removing some depth, but mostly removing spectacle. You're always throwing the same kind of rock, watching the same kind of crumble. Now, novelty counters that for the first hour, less so by the fourth. Reality is, Remedy have created a combat system where world and character are inseparable in artistic and mechanical terms, where the intimacy of world and character create the game's best qualities. Break that connection, you lose more than a little. Foundation's deepest problem is that it lacks the mechanical substance to sustain its length. So, it needed more substance, or it needed to be shorter. Foundation is an exaggeration of Control. It is a 10 out of 10 and a 5. And it ends at about a 6. Marshall's a hiss. Oh no, I'm sorry, but Marshall is a cardboard cutout. Foundation makes her central, but it doesn't bother with the kind of humanization afforded to Langston. So there's no connection here. We don't share Jessie's rage. Looks good though. Marshall is a hiss sharpened with a massive health bar, so she's a decent challenge. At the very least, it feels good to beat her. Foundation ends on a note of discord between Jessie and the board. A setup, no doubt, for things to come.
Fuck you too. Oh, I'll be sure to.
Jessie declares her intent to be ready for the next crisis, to lead the Bureau toward its own purpose, not that of the board. As our perspective on their black form inverts,
Oh,
the pyramid
shit.
pointing
Oops.
down, a symbol of
Fuck.
conflict, becomes a pyramid pointing up, an image of stability, a satisfying
I forgot
end.
to make the
This
ammo.
is what Foundation gives to Control, a satisfying end. This is the hole the new fourth act fills. So yes, Control has changed. In every meaningful way, it is a better game 5 years later. There's more worth loving. It exists in a richer context. And yet, I am reminded that it did not need to change. To be worth returning to be remembered, to be relevant even now. I think I knew that, and perhaps you did too, the moment we first stepped through those doors. Control has burrowed its way into my mind, an invasive resonance compelling me to spread its signal. I'm happy to play the part. I love this game, because it's pretty, because it has such style, because I loved being Jessie, because it's fun, because there's nothing else quite like its destruction sandbox, because Control's rendering of the immortal fantasy it took to be its core is full and new and meaningful. Control speaks, with sight and play if not the story it guides you through. It's a new Narnia, and it's beautiful, and I mean that as wholly as I possibly could. And because I love it, forgiveness comes so easily to all the things I don't like about it. Within the body of a good game lies the spirit of one of the best I've ever played. I know that I'll
Autumn
remember it
Splendor
being better than it
shoes.
was, but when I return, I won't be disappointed. Special thanks go out to L. Hudson, Lex Williams, Andre Baltuta, Holy Shift, Dennis Williams, Combat Wombat, John Lemley, Dylan Schaefer-Murphy, Warthol, The Last Great Opium Den. How long do I need to make my username before Wildlight stop saying my name out loud? Dan
Thank you, White Light. It was good. It was a good video.
Hello, guys and gals, me Mutahar, and gaming is just getting way more expensive these days, guys. Now, I want to start off by saying we live in a time of subscriptions and subscriptions and subscriptions. You know, chances are you probably have like 2 or 3 favorite shows you want to watch, and they're probably on different streaming services, okay? So now you got to juggle a Netflix sub, the Prime Video sub, the Apple TV sub, because that Severance show is coming out pretty soon, and I'm pretty hyped for that. So realistically, all that stuff adds up, and I swear to God, back in like 2007, 2008, the world probably was like, damn, we're getting away from cable television with these subscription services, everything on one platform. Yeah, we never got away. It just became worse. Now, the thing is, I'm not a, TV movie culture channel or anything. I do like video games,
Those
okay?
who dream
Now, let me
by
tell you something
day
about video
are
games. They're
cognizant of many
expensive.
things which escape those who dream only by night. Very good. I'm an admirer of his. My name is Samuel Lowe. It has the appearance of a small metal toy. It is not dangerous, so they say, but it can't be left alone. I think it is a good place to start. My sources tell me it is hidden somewhere in Thruwville. Not too far away, but do not delay. There are others in search of such treasures. This little guy seems to be fascinated by metals and ores. If you have some copper ore or ingots on you, you should be able to make nice with him. It has the appearance of a small metal. I think it is this little Yes, and this deviation is quite unique. It comes from a faraway place. The deviation itself has been around a long time. Rest assured, though, it does not have any malice towards humans. But it is not entirely harmless. As far as I can tell, and as strange as it sounds, this one is addicted to hygiene and cleaning, and becomes irritable when someone gets in the way of its work. I suggest you prepare some food and water before you go. Although the deviation is not human, it has a human nature. If you can simply express friendliness, it will be more likely to cooperate.
The master is too low.
The expensiveness of buying one brand new game, companies like Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo have released subscription services that come bundled with games. Now, Nintendo, who, from my understanding, never upped the subscription price for anything, you can pretty much play a back catalog of old Nintendo games everywhere you go. Sony, being a PlayStation kind of guy, I have never once jumped beyond the basic tier of PlayStation Plus, because nothing Sony offers in their service and
Now, I found this LMG, so it's like no good to me. I didn't make it. I can just crack it. It's weird how it has durability, blah, blah. Yeah, but that's okay. I'm going to crack this MG4. I'm going to sub in this AK that I made. Yep. That's okay. It's just, you know. And I need to teleport back. Okay, now hopefully I have more copper. Oh, I should make charcoal, I guess. So I need copper rifle bullets and copper rifle bullets, and I made more. Yeah, I made more. It'll be done in 90 seconds. I'll get more of it. Antibiotics and stuff, yeah. So I need water, and I'll need antibiotics for gastric remedy, but that's okay. So antibiotics are how you get around the dirty water, I guess. That's fucked up, but it's true. Yeah. So, no, in here is dirty water. Weight loss. Your shoulders become thinner. My shoulders became thinner? Uh-oh. Oh, I have a hat. Yeah. All that lock stuff there. Oh, look. I got a Seabreeze Cradle. Oh, look, it fits her. Dragon Fist gloves. Cool. Oh, okay, so she does have that, but I don't want it. That's alright, oh yeah, cool, but I don't have any, which is sad, but okay. But I do have boots. Black boots or brown? I don't know. Brown's better, the Autumn Splendor, sure, gear. I want to buy that one, but it's $15 fucking Cute Pet Carnival set. The hat is good because it gives her cat ears. I want the hat only. Maybe I can get the hat. Go to helmets of the cat shop purchase view. Oh no, you have to buy the whole set, but you can get cat ears that way. It's weird how it's on the side of her face. I wish it was on her helmet. Damn it. I want the cat ears. I want the cat ears, damn it. It would fit her perfectly. She could wear it all the time. I don't really like hats, but the cat ears. 15 bucks. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. 1 through 8. Okay. Oh, 1. I see. Roulette button is X. Oh, the roulette button is X, huh? At 4,000 rounds. That's gonna last me a while. I need you to calibrate. Now, you AKM 280. Oh yeah, but I want you to do this one first. That one I like, but I'm just going to break it down, sadly. It's a great weapon, but I don't need it. The MG4 mirror image. Unfortunately. Goodbye. I'll take the good materials, yeah. I really don't think I'm ever going to use this machete, frankly. Or the crossbow. Or the bat. I mean, I'm just not, you know. Those are worthless to me. Not if I have 4,000 rounds of AK. The AK looks good too. The AK actually looks really seriously like an AK. It even has like cool tape on it and stuff. I like that. AK looks good. I like her backpack with the cool pink butterfly. Now I have the ammo to go do stuff. That's good. Welcome back, but I need the other one, right? Am I done with the other one now? I did that one, and I did that one, but now I've got to do that one, I think. Yeah, oh yeah, and I have to go all over the neighborhood, I guess. Okay. So, warp me to that place. Yeah. I love my scantily clad blonde girl. She's so dope. Yeah! Oh, yeah? She's pretty cute riding that bike. Pretty fuckable, I gotta say. I really don't like the armor most of the time. Keep knocking trees over with my bicycle. With my bike, I mean. This game is so entertaining. This is kind of what I hoped Scum would be, you know? But it wasn't. This is the game I hoped Scum would be. And oh shit, the fuck. Oh, please repair immediately. What do you mean, please repair immediately? Fuck that. I'm gonna finish this first. Oh, I need one of those gummy things. For some reason. Was a jacket? I love this game. Let's listen to the game's music. See, get out of it. Oh, that hurt. Damn it. You guys always. That? It's butterfly's emissary. Huh? Is it like a drone? Come on, big money, Vexor Navy, Vexor Navy. Come on, Vexor Navy, Vexor Navy. Come on, Vexor Navy, big money, big money. Vexor Navy, Vexor Navy. Come on, Vexor Navy. A shame. I should have got it, but that's alright. What are these things on my bar? They're explosives. So what are they on? They're like, yeah, so like that thing, that should be way over here where I don't have to use it. Yeah, and I have like Molotovs and explosives and stuff for big bosses and the curiosity thingy, but I don't really want that on my bar. I want it there, I want it there. And then, there's a chest right there. Look, I can double jump. Cool. Ooh. Sweet. Oh. This is what Remnant 2 should have been. That's another game they're like ripping off really fucking bad. Remnant 2 should have been smooth like this, but it wasn't. Blue and scrap thingy. Sorry. Oof, I went through that fast. But I mean, it came in fast, so whatever. Is there a hide UI button? I am looking for... Wait, what? No, what happened? Let's go.
Nice work with the rift anchors. I guess you're the real deal after all. Sounds tough, but I think it was worth it. And I've made some discoveries regarding the deviation as well. Each time a rift anchor was activated, there was an obvious reaction inside the monolith. The deviation must be holed up inside. Let's go in together this time. I'm curious about that troublemaker inside. And besides, we're a team. I brought some ammo, and meds for us as well. Now, let's go.
She brought nuts? Is that what she said? Oh, God. I don't know. I got a billboard. That's cool. Formula Tame billboard 4, Formula Tame Precious 4. I got a painting and a billboard. Uh, are we done here or whatever? No, I'm not done here. I still have to go up there, huh? That place looks awesome. Wait. Yeah. Nice. Why does this place look so cool? Is it someone's house? I think it might be. No, it's like someone's tent. Someone's expensive tent. And it has like all these amenities on it. I want that. I want the tent. I love this game. I'm gonna play this game so much. Yeah, vehicles damn near destroyed, I get it. This isn't it, is it? I need to ascend on my own. I have a double jump. It's so cool. Double jump. Double jump. Double jump. Oh. I don't know where that guy went when. I brought him all the way back here, whatever. What's in there? What did you find? I tried to leave for you. Nice. Oh, look at all that. Nice. This is fun.
You made it. I knew I could count on you. You're quite good at handling deviants, aren't you? I gotta say, you've proven yourself to be a good teammate.
That's a cool picture. I like that loading screen.
Help me! Shouldn't have tried to take what was yours.
You are truly a great one.
Mercy, please!
Even without their submission. We are still Legion!
Too much anime. That's your problem. Too much anime. Is it gonna blow or? I cannot use my weapon. Okay. This boss was fun. This is the first boss I fought in a while that was actually well made. Didn't one-shot you. And I'm actually gonna feel good when I beat this boss, you know? Oh god, what is it? It's gonna kill me, isn't it? Oh no. Ooh. He's almost dead. Oh! God damn it. Chance to secure 20% festering gel. Did I get him? Festering gel! Yay! I got a new thingy for my backpack thingy. I have no idea what's going on in this game, but I'm happy. I got a Pioneer blue Pioneer blueprint. That's good. That's an upgrade for me, I think. Treasure chest. Control max gain. Eliminate max gain. Look, I'm so glad I bought that thingy. I bought that thingy and I should have bought that thingy. I was like, I wonder if I'll need that later, and I did. I needed it later. And look at all that shit. Ooh, obtained half a picture. Look, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. What level am I now? It doesn't even really say. What level am I? I'm level 10. I'm level 10. Sweet. Good shit. Is there like stuff around or? Look at their mini map. It's like freaking out, but I actually don't mind their mini map. It's good. This was a good fight. I didn't know there was like gasoline stuff here. I'd probably fuck him up with that too. Great fight. Loved the boss, you know, loved it. Really fucking loved it. It was very fun, very fun, very fun. Like, that's the first boss I've had fun fighting in like 5 years or something like that, because they didn't overdo it. It wasn't bullshit. They gave me the cover. They taxed me the time that I thought was appropriate. They weren't disrespectful to me. It wasn't stupid. They telegraphed. They weren't cheaty or bullshit about it. This online MMORPG had a boss fight that I appreciated a lot fucking more than your crappy Elden Ring games. I'm sorry, but your bosses suck dick now, and you shouldn't ride them any longer. That was a good boss fight, an example of a good boss fight. Shouldn't be any more than that. I can challenge him again, but I did 36,000. No. I just want to leave. I want to be done with this. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, one's enough for me. I had to dump like 1,700 rounds or something like that. It was insane. I thought right at the end I threw my runaway because he dumped like all those rockets on me, but I mean, it really shouldn't one-shot you, and not in my opinion. Like, the game shouldn't be too easy. They should ramp up to AI difficulty that kicks your ass. But for most of the majority of the game, it should be kind of a slower grind that you can achieve the first time that you try it, in my opinion. Later on, kick my ass. Send things that are like a nightmare. You know what a good example is? Sorry, it's a little bit loud. I'll turn it down. Sorry. Much lower there. A good example would be, like, for instance, you know, I'd like to replay Final Fantasy 15. It's kind of funny, but now I kind of want to buy Final Fantasy 15. I never did buy it, and I thought I did. Do I own 15? I thought I did. But I was like, I don't know. Oh, no, I didn't want to buy Final Fantasy 15 because I can't get Cup of Noodle Head. But I do want to buy Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition. I do. It's going on my list. So, ooh, Asuka, Chained Together, and Bellwright is $26.99. Going to Final Fantasy 15 Windows Edition for $14. See, it's funny. And this was on the summer sale. Download the 15 edition playable demo. I want the Windows Edition with art incomplete, right? Yeah, it's episode art and all that. For $16, can't go wrong. Add to cart, $16. That's good. That's good on the summer budget. I've been pretty good about the summer budget, frankly. Yep. Nope. View my cart. Buy it. We're gonna take it for $15.98. Yeah, it's funny. Like, I did find some games that I did like on the summer sale. Yeah. Go purchase. Go. Thank you. I own Final Fantasy 15 and Control now. I found games on the store that I actually liked. I'm inclined to install 15 and play it instead of 11. I love 15 and I want to slaughter every second of it. It's a slow, great game. If you let it be a slow, great game, and it cuts off at the ending and the story sucks, and you can skip through all of that. And as a combat game, it's okay. I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was a fun game. I've always wanted to own it, but I've always pirated because I was like, they won't sell it to me for a price that's sane. To get all that DLC and shit, you saw what I just paid, $15.98 for everything, including Arden. That's fucking perfect, you know? To me, that's great, and I hope I get Cup of Noodlehead with that for some weird reason. If I could go Cup of Noodlehead, I will definitely do the full playthrough with like all the honor combined. It's fun to play it on hard. And so where I was going with this is a good example of good AI kicking your fucking ass is in Final Fantasy 15. If you wander around at night, a horrible level, I don't know, 115 fucking giant ass rock will come sometimes, and then they'll spawn in Magitech troopers on top of you, 12 of them, and all of them are horrible. All 12 of them are horrible. And that's kicking your fucking ass with AI. That's acceptable at the end of the game, at night, where you might expect to see demons from fucking hell that are the size of, you know, small cities, and they stomp you in, and when they move, you can hear the ground shaking, and they're casting, you know, Ultima on you to start the match, you know? And you're like, okay, and if that hits me, I'm dead, so you're just running for cover at that point, right? And that's what we need. We need a Final Fantasy game that doesn't hold its punches. You know, I never did play Stranger to Paradise because it seemed too linear to me. It didn't have the open world that 15 had, but keep in mind 15 is a Square Enix game, and it is a really deep game, and it had good fishing. It had good, like, it was a good single-player world to live in for a while. The music was not spectacular, it was good. It was genuinely good. Some of the tracks are memorable for all the ages. It had better music. Well, it was the best music any single player Final Fantasy game's ever had. The reason that I bought this game is what it's really worth, right? It has a great little neat game attached with Noctis and all his little butt buddy friends, you know. But what really shines about Final Fantasy 15 Royal is you get all of the soundtracks to all of the Final Fantasy games, and you can play them in an MP3 pod. And that's what they were selling. They were selling this tune out, play Final Fantasy 15 in 3D, and beautiful fucking graphics and beautiful fucking music. And if you're in a Final Fantasy 6 mood that day, you load the music and you go on out to the tundra and you kill wolves and stuff. And the battles are like, you know, 3 to 7 minutes long. And I actually really liked it. It had kind of a Rust, you know, extraction feel to it, because if you die out in the fucking field, you're done. You're back to the save point. Just like any good Final Fantasy game. So, I have my flashlight off I was like, why is it so dark? Yeah. I love this game. It's got all the stuff that I want in a game. It's so rare to see this these days. You know, I thought my computer was acting up, but now I'm curious to see how good Nightingale actually is. I think Nightingale might be really super good too. So I have lots of games to play for a long time. Lots of multiplayer online games. Like after today, I am no longer hunting for games. This game will sit in my main. Like I'll play this game forever. I don't care. And if I end the season, that gives me time to do other stuff. You know, my excuse is that I'm high as well. Wait, do I have to talk to her? My excuse is that I'm high. Yeah, that's a good name. I liked it. Mostly I hate their dumb names, but I liked that one. Where do I go? What do I do? You want me to go do something and I don't care. So you want me to go way out there for something there. Welcome back, friends of the Chrono Caners. You want to go and talk to Mitsuko. Mitsuka. So I am going to teleport to here. I can't teleport to there, so I will teleport to here. Right out of the dungeon, bitch. Right home. And then I just run out to the teleporter. I took the best fucking real estate in early server. Yep. See, all these guys on bikes are going to the teleporter. See it? I love this fucking game. Oh, shit. Are you okay, buddy? Shit, man. Oh, shit. He's plain dead. You didn't have to give up. I would have rezzed you. Okay. Well. Okay, what do I have to do? I have 2,200 rounds, which I assume is enough for, if I can do that with 1,000 rounds, I can probably do anything with 1,000 rounds, so I'm probably okay for now, but hey, look, I have all this stuff being made. There's all the meds that I just used and everything, and I still have way more than I need. And, yep, and charcoal, copper ingots. Yeah, we'll make lots and lots of copper ingots as much as we can. Make them. Yep, copper ingots as much as we can get. Let's go. Yep. Gonna go out there and get some water and stuff, and then I'm supposed to make a stove, but I don't think I can make a... Yeah, I'm supposed to make a stove, but I don't think I can make a stove. I love this fucking game. I love this game, right? I'm so happy I got Final Fantasy 15 for 15 bucks. That's $1 per Final Fantasy soundtrack, right? And it's got them all. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. 14 as well. Like literally, Final Fantasy 15 is right on the login screen. They're like a Final Fantasy for the old timers and as well as the veterans and the old timers as well as the new people, and they were right about that. Because like on it is the soundtracks to all of the Final Fantasy games. And if you think of it as a grinder and you don't worry about their bullshit story because that doesn't go anywhere and doesn't matter, you just do it all, like skip through all the story and everything, 15 is a solid fucking game. I give it like a 9. I think it's actually a very good game. It's got these cute chocobos and all this. And the main thing is it's got, you know, it's got overlaps with existing. Oh, cool. I can put this outside, can I? Cool, but I wouldn't normally put it outside. Let's put it over here by, like, this thing. Yeah. And we could put a roof over it if I need to. Yeah, like... Yeah, I could put a frame there. Let's put a frame there. I love the building. It's the best building I've ever seen. It actually is. I really like it. What wood wide frame. I'm actually looking for this thing, though. Yeah, I want to be able to walk through. Yeah. Then I want to come and give a rooftop to this thing. Yeah, like right there, if you'll let me. Yeah, and then I want to, I don't know. Will you let me? I don't know. You don't seem to want to, but that's okay. That's fine. I've got to repair my bicycle. G to repair. F to hold to confirm. I love this game. I love this game. I love this game. I love this game. 24 on a 143 is actually a pretty good fucking deal. I'll take it, because if I pay out, I get 7 times my money. It's such a good payout on a 1 out of 8 chance. You can get 7 times your money on a 1 out of 8 chance. I fucking love it. There's a true Sancha, which I could pull and just flip again, but I don't know. I'm not having too much luck with those. I think I'll stay away from it. 17 on a 3 bet, or 250 bet. That's not bad at all. Okay, and yeah, we're fixed up. Can we do anything to this? Is there a vehicle list or anything? Oh, there's a retro coupe and an all-terrain vehicle. Oh, cool, there's cars in this? This is such a fucking good game. It is genuinely a fucking good game. It's like a really fucking genuinely good game. What do I do now? I go and I probably make ammo, like whatever I can afford to make, honestly. Copper rifle bullet as much as I can make. Yep, just making whatever you got the mats for and stuff, yeah. And I'll wait out the 3.5 minutes for the 5,000 rounds. I should probably, like, scrap and craft and all that. I love this game. It's like I came home. It feels like coming home to this game. You know, it feels like coming home It does. It's like, oh, finally, a good game I can like genuinely sink my teeth into. That runs on OBS and doesn't have any problems and is frankly fucking beautiful, like my character. My character is frankly fucking beautiful. I don't think she looks that good, but she looks really good to me. You know, she looks good. I actually don't mind her. Most characters in most games are fugly. Put a paper bag on them. This one's at least acceptable. I like the characters in this game. I think they're beautiful. And boy, she's got the camel toe. You know, Jesus. Trouble breathing, so stuffed up. I was crying when I was singing. So I've been like congested all day. So stupid. Oh, I want a glass of ice water. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Cute butt. Okay, maybe I upgrade my armor. Oh no, I need to disassemble first. Oh, I got a new helmet, it looks like. Same. Gathering speed, max load. When the load is over 80, damage taken negative 10%. Weapon and tactical item damage 20%. Damage semi-combat gliding. After killing an enemy with a melee attack, damage 25% for next melee attack within 5 seconds. It's a melee helmet. Melee kill an enemy to instantly recover 30 stamina and increase movement speed by 20% for 2 seconds. It's not as good. I'm going to scrap it. I'm gonna buy another couple of, like, I want to just, I'm gonna take the coercer. Yeah. Rustic gloves, rustic jacket. I want to keep these test subject pants. I think they're special. No way. Oh, nice. I won this coercer. We're 17 off of 6. 17 off 6, yeah. You know, I'll swing on all of these. Yeah, I absolutely will. I'll give you a couple on each, yeah. Because I just paid for it. Let me see if I can sweep all of them off what I just made. Yep. And yeah, nice to meet you. Glitch Moon is throwing up some coercer navies. Yeah, cool. Yep. Golem. Loki 40 on a 247. Marshall 28 on a 10.5. I don't think I'll get it. Caracal Navy. I mean, I've gotten too many of those lately, and they're not selling. I mean, maybe I should just dump them. Banes 57. Nidhogger. Heretic. Drawmeal Blueprint copies. Heretic. Marshall, Scorpion, Legion, Skybreaker, Revelation Navy. adventure. Yeah, I'll take a swing at adventure, yeah. There's a fledgling person learning HyperNet who's still an alpha or something, or still like a fresh fresh Omega. I love EvE and I love this game. I love this game. I'm so happy I'm in such a good mood because I actually have a game to play. It means so much to me. Details, structures, facilities, decorative accessories. Oh yeah, I got some new stuff, didn't I? I got some blueprints for some cool stuff and all this. What are prints? Floors. Oh, prints. I see. Okay, prints. House blueprint. Add a blueprint. Save all. Save all. Skycat.live blueprint. My first ever launch day house. My first ever launch day house. Confirm. There's a little heart to myself from like 5 years from now. I go back and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember when I made this house. Look. Oh cool. Look. Oh cool. You can totally blueprint save the entire fucking house really easy, and then see a cool 3D diagram of it, and then build it somewhere else. Like 76. Here's an RPG for a new player. Where did I see the thing about redeeming a code or whatever? What's on her left arm? It's weird. She has like these weird things. There's all my ammo. Now I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna, like, yeah, I'm gonna, materials, I'm gonna merge and deposit. Merge and deposit. Wait, I'm on the right side, yeah. Merge and deposit. I want to keep the controller. Nice. My weight is 32 pounds after the, like, the gear, I think. The gear, how much is the oh yeah, 1.5. So what do I have 32 pounds of? Is it this? I wish the tabs. Oh, show buffs. Okay, safe haven entered. Oh, cool. You can you can organize. There it is. Now what? Oh, build a stove, right? I'm supposed to build a stove. So I want furniture or facilities of structures of interior. No, I'm sorry, facilities. I'm looking for a stove. There we are. Insufficient materials, copper ore. Wait, the stove takes copper ore? Okay. Okay. That works for me. He has a good copper sulfur deposit for endless bullets. I steal it all the time. Wait, I can only do that once a day, huh? That sucks. What am I doing now? I'm getting copper ore is what I'm doing now. So I guess I'll turn around and I'll go back to the water because I know that there's a lot of copper. This guy's name is All Cag, No Sag. Alright, I'm out cruising for copper. I'm sure I have enough now. I'm just gonna go home. That hurt my bike a lot. Fuck, I love this game. It sticks and moves, you know? Oh, cool. I like that. That's awesome. Maybe I should steer my all towards Eagle now. No, I want to get a workout done so I can always mine for myself if I want to. I think I will do something in EvE. I will go take my alt and my main out to Nullsec with a Miasmos and a Venture, and I will just go till I find an empty system in mine.
Connecting.
I love this game. I love this game. Okay, so she needs to get in a Miasmos. I think I'm just gonna break these arrows now. Oh yeah, the test subject pants, right? How much is my inventory now? 45. Is it all that water? It is, that's 2.8 pounds. Yeah. Can we sort this? Oh, you can filter. Okay. I don't know what weighs so much. It's all that ammo. Oh, I have all that ammo that I don't need. I'm just gonna start stockpiling it. Okay, she needs to buy a miasmos. Unless she's got one. You got a miasmos here? Nope. So come to person. Oops, sorry. Come to inventory to regional market.